Now let's look at pronunciation. Let's start with the idea of phonetics. You may have seen these weird symbols in dictionaries or on the internet while looking up a word. These symbols are part of what is known as a phoneme chart. And knowing the pronunciation of a word can help you with understanding how a word may be spelled, especially if the word is of a different linguistic origin. We will look at some of these examples when we cover languages of origin later, but let's look into the phoneme chart and see how it can help us spell words correctly. One of the most confusing things about the English language is that words which are spelled similarly, such as good and food, have very, very different pronunciations. So the pronunciation key, which are these weird symbols you sometimes see in dictionaries, is a great way to remember how to say these words. So let us begin. First, we have the A sound, as in apple. Then we have this upside down E thing, which is called a schwa, which is actually the most common vowel in the English language, and it is the sound in the word afraid. You have the long A sound that you find in father, and then you have the E sound, which you find in red and pet. You have the sound, which you find in word and bird. You have the I sound, which you find in knit. You have the E sound, which you find in read and meet. You have the O sound that you find in not and rot. You have the sound that you find in run. This is a little different from the schwa in that it's a more prominent pronounced vowel. You have the U sound in good, as we said earlier. We have the oo sound, which you find in food or mood. You have the O sound, which is found in door. Now you have these slightly more complicated symbols, which are known as diphthongs, which are these ones over here. Here you see that these are all combinations of the vowels we saw in the first column. If you look at the examples, we have E, which has the sounds we hear in here. We have the A sound, which is E and I, which doesn't really make sense, but sure. So that is the sound you would find in late and rate. You have the U, sound, which is tour, and it's a combination of two different vowels. You have the E, which is the kind of sound you would find in hair and tear. If you pronounce it slowly, you'll see that it would be pronounced tear, which is kind of the E and the sound you see over here. You have the oi sound, as in toy and boy. You have the I sound, as in kite. And then you have the O sound in low and row. And finally, you have the ow sound, as in cow. So you can see how, in the English language, it is often very easy to get confused between words that look similar but are pronounced very differently, such as good and food and low and cow. But learning how to use these pronunciation symbols can help you differentiate between these. Don't worry if this doesn't make total sense already. We'll go over a couple of examples in a bit, and that will definitely help you understand this better. Moving on to consonants, we have the P sound, which is pot. We have the B sound in bit. The T sound, as in toy. We have the D sound, as in dog. We have the F sound, as in fit. We have the V sound, as in video and veterinarian. We have the K sound that you find sometimes with a C, as in cat, and sometimes with a K, as in kite, like we see over there. We have the g sound, which is got and gate. We have the s sound, which is sometimes with an s in suspect and sometimes with a c as in symbol. Next, we have the z sound in zoo. Then we have the m sound as in meat and mitten. We have the h sound as in hit and hot. We have the n sound as in not. We have the l sound as in the word light. We have the r sound as in right. Now, these are slightly more difficult consonants that are often pronounced a little bit differently and written kind of with more confusing symbols. So this first symbol over here is the ch sound that we find in chair and choose. The j sound is either written as a j or as a dg, both of which you can see in this word judge. Next, we have the soft th sound that you would find in the words with and path. You have the slightly more resonant the sound, which you find in the words the and this and there. We have the sh sound, which is sometimes with an sh as in show, and sometimes with a ch as in chandelier. Then we have the zh sound that you find in vision and television. You have the ng sound that makes the sound at the end of the word thinking. And then possibly the most confusing one is this j over here, which is actually the y sound in yes and yellow.